Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interview Kay Crump. After Kay had her second baby in 2019, she realised there was so much more to life than the 9 to 5 grind and went on a journey of self-discovery and healing. She trained as a life coach. She's an NLP master and one of the first 15 belief coders in the world. She recently made the leap and left her corporate banking job that was draining her soul and now lives the life she dreamed of, helping other women to get out of their own way and heal their past so they can find what lights them up and change their own lives. I know you're going to love this episode. I think there's loads of women that really want to go after their dreams, and it is fear that stops us. And me and Kay have known each other for quite a while now, and you are just going to love this episode. Hey Kay, it's good to get you on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I know I was trying to think how long we've known each other now. I know that I reckon it's like over a year that I've seen you online and our paths have crossed,
Yeah.
but probably the last sort of 3 to 6 months that I've got to know you a bit better.
Yeah.
And it's great to get you on the show because I know, as I was just saying before we click record, your path sort of reminds me very much of my path. Because I think as a mum, we all have these, like, I suppose, wake-up calls or light bulb moments in our life. And I think a lot of women listening to this will relate to it, that when you have children, it does start making you reflect about what you really want for your life. And I know when was it in 2019 you became a mom? Although I think have you got an older child as well?
Yes, I've got Ashton at 16 and then Sophia's 3. So yeah, 2019 was my massive wake-up call, really.
Yeah. And I know you're doing some really good stuff for women online, and we were just talking about self-belief, and you help a lot of women with their confidence. And there's a whole kind of toolbox that you've got to your kind of bag of things that you can help people with. But I think in summary, that's the main thing that you can help women with when, like you say, it's funny actually, because when I was in the pharmaceutical industry, I focused on men's health a lot. And it made me reflect the difference between women and men. And, they say that men never go to the doctor's surgery unless they go to A&E if their legs, like, broke. Do you know what I mean? That's
falling off.
Yeah, legs falling off. That's the only way to get a man into surgery. Whereas women are always in and out of surgeries because of children. Because when you have children, you're going to go for the checkups. You're going to, with all your pregnancy and all that kind of thing. And I just think even though we're talking about healthcare in that respect and sort of traditional healthcare, I think it sort of sums women up that we do everything for everybody else. Sometimes we're like people pleasers. When we become mums, it becomes everything about the children, and we kind of lose our own identity, don't we, a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. And that confidence in ourselves and trusting our intuition as well. We're always looking outside of ourselves. So lost that trust. Yeah, and so I wanted you to sort of share a bit about your journey so far, and I know it's going to be an exciting year this year and next year for everything that's to come. I'm really excited for you, but just sort of share a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing. And I know you've listened to some of these episodes before when I talk about my 3 pillars that have kind of given me equilibrium in my life, and they've been freedom in love, which is all around self-care and the love that we give out to the world. It's sort of self-love as well, which fits in with your self-belief or our belief, our kind of limiting beliefs that stop us moving forward, and our confidence. And then freedom in money, because I don't care what anyone says, because me and my friends always have a little bit of a laugh, like, and I've shared stuff like this, so I'm not being horrible to people who have,
But, you know, like when you're stuck for finances or money's not great, we share all these quotes online about how money is and everything, and that all these other things. And it's usually because we're broke that we share those.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer that we need to be financially free and not have those pressures so that we can be completely free, you know. But it's not about, you know, everything being about money. Again, it's about the balance. But no financial pressures, basically. And then also freedom in mind, because I think mindset encompasses everything. And I know from knowing you and helping you more recently with Amazon, that I'm sure that you can relate to all of those sort of 3 pillars, really. And there's more to it. There's more to it than that. So I obviously wanted to get you on the show because I think people, and women especially, that could be listening to this, who could have that fear of, oh, I really want to start something for myself, or I can't do that, and then just, you know, kind of give up their career and go part-time and be in a job that they hate, or even give up the work completely for their children. They might be feeling like there's something that they want to do, that they want to get their passion around. And I think hearing your story could inspire them to take that step. So share it. Share your journey.
Yeah, so I was very much like you. I was from the corporate world, working as a business manager for one of the big banks in the UK. I was there for 15 years. So for like the first 10, I literally loved it, loved working up the ladder, thought it was my career, like always went for the next role, the next job, the next interview, the pressure, hated going for the assessments. But I was so programmed to think that was the way that we had to do life, because that's the way we're programmed, isn't it, growing up, going to school, college. I never went to university or anything like that. But yeah, so that was kind of my life. I remember having my first daughter. She was 1 when I first went to work for the bank. And I used to sit there with her by my side doing telesales because I was told to, or like being late to pick her up from nursery because my till didn't balance at first. So like all the pressures, and I look back and think, why did I do that? It's just, oh my gosh. But that's what I believed at the time. And it wasn't until I had Sophia in 2019, I was due to go back after maternity leave, and I was full-time at that point. And I was waiting for redundancy. I was like, fingers crossed, just waiting, hoping, because there was kind of rumours that it was coming. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And I said to my husband, with this little one, if I do have to go to it, which I thought I had to because of obviously finances, I've got a mortgage to pay and kids to buy things for. I said to him, I'm not going full time because I missed out on so much with Asher. I wanted to make sure I was there for Soph. So I made sure, I said, I'm going back part time. If I'm having this child, I'm definitely going back part time this time. It came to like the day before I was due back off maternity leave, and COVID was kind of rumbling in the background. And my boss said, like, I'm so sorry, Kay, but it's not going to happen. So I was thinking, oh my God. So I had to go back. I went back part time, and then about a month later, COVID hit. So for years I'd worked in a branch, and then before I went on maternity leave, I was a business manager and I was out and about, went to clients all the time. So I was literally my own boss with my diary. And then COVID hit, and that was it. Then we weren't allowed in the branches. I wasn't allowed out to clients. So I was at home all the time. So I got my wish because I was working at home and not having to commute anymore. But it was quite intense because my whole job changed. I was on a phone all day, and it was literally draining my soul. So I tried other things like network marketing, just thinking of ways like, how can I make money so I don't have to do this job? And then I couldn't do network marketing. It was awful. I was just not the kind of person that could like cold message people and kind of push things on him.
I think it's challenging because I remember, again, your journey sounds very similar to mine. I remember going down the route of network marketing, and it's not slate network marketing, because I think there's some great stuff around self-development, you know, but for me it was like working in another corporate environment. It wasn't really for me. And it was this whole thing of getting a list of friends and family, the pressures of, you've got to keep going at the numbers, haven't you, being say cold DMs or messages, and you know, pitching people all day, you know.
That was the start for me, because before that I was quite a private person, so I wasn't really on social media. My Facebook was like just my friends and family. my Instagram was like private, so I didn't let other people into my world. So when I went into network marketing, it kind of opened me up to that kind of sharing myself a bit more, which was really daunting at first. But then that led me on the self-development route. So that's when I kind of just dove into it. So I'm thankful because I did find the self-development world, and I wouldn't be on this journey without it. But at the same time, I do feel like network marketing ruined my confidence a little bit, because I felt like a failure. And I thought, well, why can't I do this? There's so many people out there earning like hundreds of thousands of pounds. Like, why can't I? But I just realised it's just not my personality. That is just not me at all. And then I found human design, and I realised I'm a generator, and we're not meant to go out and push. I'm supposed to like give things to, like, wait for the universe and then respond to things. Basically, I'm not supposed to. So that kind of gave me a lot of clarity that wasn't meant for me, and it was good. I wasn't a failure. So that helped with that one, because I felt like such a failure for a while with that one. But then I found coaching, and I decided to throw myself into coaching. I did my accreditation, and then I found NLP. So yeah, it's just been a long, like, amazing journey since there, really.
You did NLP. Did you do the full thing, the NLP master?
Yeah.
There's different levels in there. I've constantly looked at it because I love NLP, and I love all. It's like I feel like I know a lot of it, but I've never had the official kind of teaching. I know a few people that have, invested in it, gone for it, and I think it could be quite interesting. But I know there's different levels in there.
Yeah, so you do your NLP and then your NLP masters. So I did a 6-month course, but it's so fascinating because the subconscious, obviously, with belief coding, which was my next one as well. I did NLP and belief coding at the same time, so I think that's when we met, like a year ago. Last September, I started belief coding, so I've been doing that a year now. But the subconscious, your belief systems, your limiting beliefs, that's kind of what intrigued me. And NLP obviously dives into the programming, and it's not until you like actually see it, you can't unsee it, like with all the programming on TV, with like things like Disney. You just don't realize there's so much like hidden messages in like the TVs and stuff as well. So yeah, that was kind of like, when you just follow the breadcrumbs and you think, oh my god, that's like fascinating, and then you just like go on to the next one and the next one. So yes, I did NLP, then I did belief coding, I've done meditation teacher training. The next thing I'm diving into is like the nervous system and the somatics, the trauma side of things. So that's where I'm kind of being pulled next. So yeah, watch this space with that one, because that fascinates me as well. So
if you don't have to answer this question, because we were talking about how it's very conversational. That's just something that's popped in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I know that you've helped people with different traumas before. Is there anything that you want to share that you've personally experienced? And if you don't, or there hasn't been a real traumatic experience that you've had, then don't feel pressured to. But I was just curious is there anything that, like from your journey or your past that you've been working on to heal? But don't feel don't worry. You're like, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm open, don't worry, I'm happy to discuss anything. But no, I think the main thing for me was when my dad left. He left us when I was 12. So that was the main thing that affected my confidence, my self-worth, was like at rock bottom. I always would, like, you always think it's your fault, don't you? It's not until now I realised, obviously, my mum and dad had their own issues, but when you're that young, even back to when I was like 6, when he first started being unfaithful, it's things like that have had a knock-on effect in my life, of not trusting men, not trusting myself. Just that trust was totally gone, and that's something I've had to rebuild all these years. And I didn't see him for years. We've reconnected now, but he doesn't realise the amount that he's affected my life, and that's something that's still kind of on the things to do with him. So that was the main thing that belief coding has helped me massively, was with my confidence, my self-worth.
And that's really good that you're sharing that, because I think there's probably a lot of people listening to this that I shared something on my Instagram yesterday. I don't know if you saw it in the stories about being perfect. I think we're always in this world where we feel like we want to be perfect because we see everything on social media with people having these perfect lives. And then it really surprises us when we see someone's relationship break down, or suddenly they say, oh, I'm closing my business because it wasn't worked, and you thought that they were really successful, or you thought they had a perfect relationship. because people just show what they want to show and not necessarily the truth about what's going on. And and everybody does that to a certain extent. But I think there is this thing all the time that we want to be perfect, isn't there? All the society things about having a job and certain house and cars and all these kind of stuff. And I'm always one like breaking all those rules.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Happiness isn't always about all those things, but I think listening to you, because when you were saying what you were saying, I was reflecting on my boys, because obviously you know the journey that I've been on. Because I've seen their confidence not be great, and it's really difficult to try and help your child be more confident. I've seen it grow, and I've seen it go up and down as well. Like definitely my eldest now is a lot more confident than he was 5 years ago, and now I'm sort of working on my 12-year-old. But it is interesting, isn't it, how these things that can happen that you don't actually realise, though, like we were saying before, you don't realise that actually there may be something that you have got this limiting belief because something happened in your younger years, or your confidence limited because, like you say, your parents split up, or it could be just all sorts of different things. And I've interviewed a lot of people on this podcast that have had lots of different challenges, and I just think it's interesting for people to reflect on themselves, maybe listening to this, thinking, actually, I never thought that, there may be something, it may even just be like a friend at school that, wasn't being really mean, or, you were in a bullying situation that you think you just got over, but actually it stopped you, or it's prevented you going after your dreams and doing what you want to do in life. Because I know that's where you help people, isn't it, a lot of the time?
Yeah. It's a subconscious, it's there to keep us safe, and it stores it all away, but without realising it's not helping or serving you at all. So that's where I love helping people. They get things out of the subconscious that they do not need to keep anymore, because it just doesn't serve them, and it's stop holding them back. And we don't even realise until you don't know. It's like, what we don't know, we don't know.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And so I know that's what you focus on, isn't it, for your Kay? Like, for people who are listening to this and thinking, hey, this Kay lady sounds really cool. She's obviously, well, you haven't come to that part of the story yet, but I know that you've left now your work, haven't you?
Yes, finally.
Yay.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to take that plunge?
So it was when that's where I got up to, wasn't it? So when I had Soph, I went part-time, and then for the last 3 years, because she's 3 now, I was just doing it. I only work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but even those days were literally draining my soul, and I just didn't have that confidence to leave because of the money. It was always the money that was holding me back. But I got to the point, like the last, say, 3 months, with all the inner work that I've been doing on myself, I got myself a coach as well. I'd started working with you on Amazon. I believe myself near enough every single day, because there's always new things coming up. So just doing that inner work on myself and building my confidence and my belief in myself, which is obviously something that's been ongoing. I just got to the point 3 months ago where I said to my husband, like, this is it now. I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. So I made sure I got a little bit of savings behind me, and I just handed my notice in. I think I just got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, when you just get sick of your own SHRT.
And I think since COVID, a lot of companies think that the way they work has changed, hasn't it?
You're just a number. No one cares. I was getting migraines because it was stressing me out so much, and I just got to the point where I was like, that's it. But handed my notice in. I've been there for 15 years, and I didn't even have any I think I was just numb to it after so long of stressing myself out with it. So I've not looked back since. And this is the first last couple of weeks. I went to Ibiza last week. And then I'm literally free. I'm driving my car. I'm going to Costa to get my coffee, and I'm like, oh my God, I've actually got a little bit of freedom. It's so surreal, but I'm so grateful. I just live in this, I said to my friend, I'm just living in this little gratitude bubble, that I've kind of took that leap of confidence in myself. Because that's the thing, we make all these plans and goals and promises, but then when we don't keep them or we don't stick to them, we're then in this vicious circle where we're not trusting ourselves. We're in this vicious circle then where you're not trusting yourself, you're not taking that leap, and then it's just ongoing. So until you actually realise it's now or never, this life's so short, we've got to take it and just go for it.
You've got to take that foot off the edge of the cliff, because also it helps you really learn about business. Because when you used to sort of earning this salary, we get into this kind of mindset of that. Whereas when you're running your business, yes, you think about monthly income, but I kind of think more like a 6-12 month picture or quarterly. So for instance, for Amazon, I know that this next quarter is really high. And so then you budget for next year over that time, because as well, my dad, I think we've talked about this before with you, to the bank, because my dad worked for TSB, which I think, God, TSB doesn't really exist. He got swallowed up, didn't he, with it in Royal Bank of Scotland. I don't know who got bought off by TSB, but anyway, he then went and did insurance investments for people. And I'm grateful that I had him throughout my life. In fact, recently I was thinking, God, I need to do more with my boys that my dad used to do with me, because he was very good at teaching, as a child, about money and how to save and spend and all that kind of stuff. But he's always taught me that we need you need to have 6 months money in the bank for your outgoing
safety blanket.
And so I think when you run a business, you forecast more like that. And so by taking your foot off the edge of the cliff, as regards to sort of finance, and you work for the bank anyway, so you should be pretty good with numbers. But you're feeling it, aren't you? Because you won't be getting that monthly income that you were used to. So you do start forecasting, and that's when you can start really thinking like a business owner and an entrepreneur, by actually doing it. And you're going to make a few mistakes along the way. It's inevitable, but the learnings from those mistakes are huge. Do you know what I mean? The biggest mistakes I've made on my journey have just helped me accelerate my growth.
That's it.
As long as you don't keep making the same mistake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely think you're right. It's like, if not, you waste all these years sort of dilly-dallying, where you're not fully immersed into what you really want to become.
Yeah, you live in that little safety blanket, don't you? Where I've got that salary, I've got my pension, but then I got to the point where, we are programmed to work, retire. Oh, I've got a bit of a pension. There probably won't even be a state pension by the time I retire. That's the way I look at it. And then you've got a little bit of time to go on holiday, and then you die, and it's like we're working every day for this little hour dinner break, and the holidays, 21 days holiday a year. And I've just got to the point where I'm like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. There's so much more to life, and we're so programmed. And I think that's where I love this, freedom is one of my highest values in life. And this is where I just took the leap. And I have lost my salary and I've lost that little safety blanket, but I feel so much more free that I've got the whole world to explore. And that's what I want my daughters to know as well. My eldest has just started college, and I'm like, when I left school, I went into insurance, and it was the most boring job I'd ever had. I went from insurance to banking, and I said to my daughter, I don't want you to just go out and get a job just because you feel like you had to, because I had to, because my dad left and I didn't want to ask my mum for money, so I went out and worked. I didn't go to uni. But at 16, you don't know what you want to do you? It's no one knows. So that's what I'm trying to instill in my daughters, is you just need to find what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. If you love what you do every day and wake up with purpose, then that's the dream.
That is the dream, exactly. Again, you said there's so much synergy with me and you, because that's how I am with my boys. That Jacob was talking about going to university and stuff, and I was encouraging it because the 3 years I had at Leeds Uni were the best years of my life. You know what I mean? It was all the start of meeting all these different characters. You know what I mean? You were out when you were at school. You've got those friends that are just local. So meeting people who had come from abroad, being in a city where I was originally from a town, and just meeting different people from all walks of life. People that have been to a really posh boarding school versus someone who was just just all these different mix of accents and all that kind of stuff. it was more the lifestyle part of it, because I've always liked meeting people that I really, really loved. And actually the work was a lot easier than I've done at A-level. Just, you know what I mean? I only got a 2-2. Probably they always said that was the social degree outcome. But I did really just enjoy those years, because like you say, at 16 you don't really know what you want to do.
No.
But it was funny actually. Ruben said the other day, when is it I have to pay rent?
When you're 16.
No, I said, when you stop learning, like if you decide you don't want to do any more, you know, a course or anything like that, because he hates school, then you have to pay. Because but what about if I haven't got a job? I said, it's fine, because you'll just work for me. He was like looking at me like, what? I don't want to work here. I said, well, you're not going to live here rent free unless you're working for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get them involved with stuff that I'm doing all the time, you know, and because it's my idea, they don't like it. And that's how we are with our parents. We want to do different things, but I'm hoping it's going to come full circle at some point. But
I say that to my daughter. Like, I say to her, "Can I believe Koji?" She's like, she just thinks I'm absolutely nuts. She just rolls her eyes at me when I'm talking to, like, her best mate will always talk to me and listen to me. So, but one day I say to Ash, you'll probably realise when I'm gone that actually your mum did actually speak a lot of sense. But no, they don't listen to us as the parents. And I remember I was the same as well.
We're just the same.
Yeah, I'm hoping I've got a little bit more chance with my little one, because she's obviously a lot younger, but she's kind of like my main motivation as well for doing this, because I really want to homeschool her. So this year now is quite like pivotal for me. If I can obviously just build from here and just enjoy being my own boss and self-employed, then I can obviously homeschool her as well. So she's one of my main motivators as well. So
brilliant. That's really good.
Yeah.
But for people listening to this, how can you help them move forward in their life? Like, what are the way, you know, who is sort of your ideal client, and how can you help them?
So I always think that I am my ideal client, and I look back at where I held myself back for so long, and just like the self-worth wound in women is just so, until you realise that kind of like where your shadows are, and that a lot of the things that are holding you back probably are relating to that not feeling worthy and like not loving yourself. So I just help women just to wake up to that, really, to just realise they are worth so much more, and they deserve to, not just like, being a mum is one of the best jobs in the world, but there's so much more to life than being a mum, just a mum and working a 9 to 5, and just helping them get their confidence back in themselves, really, and just know that they are worthy and that they can do anything they put their mind to, which is what I always tell my daughters: you can do anything you put your mind to, and if you've got dreams, stop putting them off and just like make it happen, because that's what life's about. And that's one of the reasons I do what I do, is because I did it for so many years. I couldn't look back in another year's time thinking, oh, I really wish I'd left my job a year ago. But now I get to concentrate and do this full time. And just to help women realise and find their purpose in life, just find what lights them up, what like sparks that fire in their belly, because you don't want to get up every day dreading it. You want to wake up and think, oh yeah, I'm going to do this today, and just love what you do every single day.
Nothing worse. I remember in the corporate world, I had that like Sunday night feeling that I used to get when I was at school.
That dread.
That dread of the next day.
Yeah.
And so I think if for people that are listening to this that are feeling like that, then, you know, definitely reach out to Kay, because she might be able to sort of help you discover how you need to make the next step from that feeling stuck and that dread and that overwhelm, or also just not believing in yourself, or having that low self-worth, like you say, to feel more confident again. What is the best way for people to reach out to you? Like, what's the process?
So Instagram, I've got Kay Self-Belief Coach, and also on Facebook as well. So yeah, they're the main two that I use, that they can find me on.
And do you have a group or anything like that, or anything that you give away to people for free? Any freebies?
Yeah, so I've got a Facebook group, because I'm also into like the feminine side, like periods, cycles. That's another thing that I'm really big on as well. So I've got a group on Facebook that I've created. I think I mentioned to you, I'm a Gemini and a generator, and I just love I'm a forever student. I'm always learning. So yes, I've got that side as well. Just helping women like to take hold of their hormones and their cycles and work with their monthly cycles. That's massively helped me as well. So yeah, so I've got a Facebook group, but if they want to reach out to me on Instagram, I love chatting on Instagram. Just look, you know, when people just drop into your inbox and ask a question, I'm like voice noting away. I'm like, can't shut me up.
So reach out if anyone is feeling aligned or just feels that synergy or connection with everything that Kay has been sharing. Do reach out to her. You'll see if you're listening to us on iTunes or any of the podcasting channels like Spotify, you'll see in the show notes there'll be all of Kay's details just to click on. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hello, you will see everything in the comment section. So yeah, it's been great having you on and sharing everything that you're doing, and I'm really genuinely excited about your future with everything that you're doing, because I do think I just got that connection with you, and I can really relate to your journey so far. So I always ask everybody, as you know, because I know you're a regular listener, what does freedom mean to you? So what does freedom mean to you, Kay? Because I know it means different things to different people.
Yeah, so freedom, like I said, is one of my highest values, and it is just to wake up every day and do what lights me up and be able to spend quality time with my family. So yeah, it's just getting out of that 9-to-5 grind, which I've finally done, and just living life and just going with the flow as well, like following my intuition, going with the flow. That's the main thing that's helped me as well last few months, is just listening to my intuition and seeing where it takes me.
Exactly. In fact, someone was asking me recently, how do you follow your intuition? Like, what is you? They were trying, because I was like, it's just your gut feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how can I describe it in any other way? Because I think sometimes we have all this stuff in our head that kind of counteracts what our gut is telling us to do, that sometimes we get confused what our intuition is. I don't know if you've got any tips to share for that, because someone was asking me and I gave a really waffly answer. I'm sure you'll probably be better at that. I think
for me, we've kind of got the mind, which is like the fear, the ego that's always talking, which is why meditation's so good for quietening the mind a little bit. You don't have to shut it up and stop it talking, because it's never going to go away. It's there for a reason. But I suppose for us women, I like to explain it that it's like our womb, it's our gut, it's your intuition. Like if you're ever struggling to just quieten the mind a little bit, I always find putting my hand on my heart, one on my womb, and just like taking a few deep breaths and just kind of tuning into the body, because we've got all, I know it's so cliche, everyone says, oh, we've all got the answers within, but it's so true. Everything we need it's in our body. And that's where I realize the mind body connection is just so disconnected these days with women. That's something that I'm still working on, that's so important. So it's just listening to the body, just tap in and listen, take a few deep breaths and quieten the mind for a few minutes. And just journal as well. Just journal whatever's in your mind, just mind dump it, journal it out. Get it out of your head.
And especially if I'm like having a dilemma over something.
Yeah.
Whether it be a work thing or a personal thing, I just like dump all my emotions on a piece of paper. I sometimes find them randomly, like, 6 months after.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
Yeah.
I think it's so really good. It is a really good way to kind of get all that sort of, like you say, mind or frustration out sometimes.
Yeah.
And break things down. And it does sound cheesy, but it actually works. But yeah, I love your description about intuition. That's a good one. So thank you for that. And thank you for everything that you're doing with women, helping them with everything that is going on in their subconscious, really. And, helping them move from feeling stuck and actually feel empowered, to do what they want to do in their life, really, and create happiness at the end of the day. I think that's what it's all about. Freedom, for me, brings me happiness. And like you say, being grateful. Sometimes when I drop the boys off at school and I'm driving, I'm always on a cheeky Starbucks. it's my like little sin, my sneaky Starbucks on my own. And I just think it's those small things that I love, that I'm able to do. And I've said to them, when they're grown up, I might not even be here anymore. I might be like jet setting, and they're like, "What? Where can we be?" I'm like, once I'm not refined to the school, I think it definitely is those small things that you feel really grateful for when you're doing what you want to do in your life. So
Definitely.
Big kudos to you. And for anyone, as I say, I'll repeat, anyone that feels sort of aligned to everything that we've talked about, do reach out to Kay. I can really vouch for her energy and the wonderful things that she's doing, and some of her shares that I see on social media. You'll learn a lot from, so go follow her. And thanks ever so much for sharing everything today. Really
thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Anna. And thank you for being an amazing coach as well.
Oh, thank you. Right, great stuff. Thanks, everyone. See you then. Bye.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey. Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.